What's going on, YouTube? So as you can see, I just got some new lighting. I also just picked up the DJI Pocket 3, which I'm currently learning how to use. So hopefully that'll be an improvement for the channel coming up. I also plan on taking most of these videos and transferring them to a dormant channel that I currently have that has like 21 or 22,000 subscribers. That channel is called Semper Grumpy. I'll leave a link in the description, and I would really appreciate anybody who's watching this go follow that channel if you want more of this kind of content. But anyway, since I got this new lighting system, I figured I would revisit my review or kind of overview video of the Dragon King Savior. I figure we can get a little bit... Okay, what's up, bro? Lay down, homie. Okay. Let's go. So, he has different plans, I guess. Bro, come on, lay down. Okay, so that's my dog Jax. Anyway, I figure we can just kind of go through the fittings, the workmanship on the Suka, the saya, and then the blade. I'm not going to go super in depth. Like I said in some of my other videos, I'm not at all an expert. I'm just a nerd, and I like the craftsmanship of these, and I like to, keep it in my lap while I watch Shogun. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the Suka, which is kind of a point of contention for me when it comes to Dragon King and Hanwei swords. 1 second. Okay, we're back. So as you can see, this is a Shadow Dancer katana, and you can see the shape of these Sukas are super different. And I am really much more of a fan of this kind of subtly wasted shape, this kind of hourglass shape. Let's get rid of that for now. But as you can see, this sword doesn't have that. It kind of just looks like an axe handle with no profiling or anything, which is a bummer. I think that these swords would do a whole lot better than they currently do if they kind of had a little bit more elegance to the Suka. But with that being said, it does look a little chunky from here. However, the profile view, it's very thin. So it does feel very good in the hand. And the sword is quite long. So it does feel quality to me. I just would prefer a different aesthetic. But if we kind of start over at the Kashra here, you can see the casting quality is excellent. And another thing that I really like about Dragon King is their fittings. A lot of the times on most of these reproduction katana that you'll see coming out of China, they all kind of have the same parts bin fittings that you can choose from. And a lot of times they're a little bit extravagant and maybe require a little bit more skill in order to have that extravagance translate to looking elegant. So that really bothers me about a lot of reproduction katana. I feel like they would benefit from just staying simple. However, Dragon King's fittings are, I wouldn't say they're elaborate, but they are very unique, and as far as I understand it, they're unique to Dragon King in particular. So that's pretty nice. Another thing that Dragon King does is they will notch out like some of the wood in the Suka core in order to have a spot for the knots in the Ito to fit so that they can be a little bit more flush, which is very nice. If we kind of look at the tightness of the Ito, it is crazy tight. I mean, like, I'm bending my fingernail before I can even move. any of these knots. So this is just rock solid. It feels like someone just dipped this in lacquer and you just can't move it at all, which is excellent. The Samegawa is a bit underwhelming. As you can see, the nodules are very small. It has 2 Makugi pins here. The diamonds are pretty uniform. They're not perfect, but they look good compared to a lot of other kind of Hanwei and Dragon King swords that I've seen. The Manuki are very nice, kind of this like silver color. And I feel like it's, you can clearly see what it's supposed to be. If we move over to the Fuchi, we can see the transitions are very nice. There's a little bit of I could probably get rid of that, but yeah, the transitions are nice. There's a slight ledge here where it looks like maybe the Suka core is slightly wider than it should be, but it doesn't get in the way. It's just kind of a nitpick. If we look at the Fuchi itself, very nice quality on the casting there. The Suba, very nice quality. One of the things that I also really love about Dragon King is their seppa. So their seppa have a little bit more of an exaggerated scallop on them than you would normally see. And they're also slightly thicker. So they're almost the thickness of 2 seppa instead of just 1, which is interesting. I also love the color. It's a little bit more of a, I don't know, it's not like that golden brass color. It's much more of a nickel, like a nickel with like a gold tint to it, which is very nice. I like that. Kind of adds a little bit more of a unique touch. If we look at the other side of the Suba, you can see it's a sword with a background of fire. And then the Habaki. So one of the things that I really love about Dragon King are their Habakis that they choose. They look much more fitted to the blade than a lot of other ones that I've seen. And I do understand, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I do understand that traditional Habaki is supposed to encapsulate the blade fully, and this does not. But, I really don't care. I actually like the aesthetic of this little notch here. And let's see, if we move, before we get to the blade, let's move over to the saya. And this is one of the biggest problems with this sword. So for a sword that now, after, prices have gone up, apparently, from Cass Iberia is the distributor of these swords. When I purchased the sword, it was around $650. And the saya is quite a bummer. It really has zero tension at all. It does have buffalo horn fittings on the saya. The Sageo is quite nice. But as you can see, they did apply the Sageo before the lacquer was finished drying, which from what I understand is very common, but it's a bummer to see. And just the biggest issue is the fact that this is just completely loose. I did have a viewer from another video suggest that I should take a shaving from a popsicle stick and use it to shim the inside of the saya. I might try doing something like that. But it would have been nice to have the saya fit properly, for the price that this sword is. That's kind of it for the saya. It's just a plain blue lacquered saya. Another thing that was kind of a disappointment when I got this is all of the marketing materials show that this sword is supposed to come with a yellow Sageo. It's like a yellow and white Sageo. I would have loved to see that because I like that kind of pop of color and just that kind of uniqueness to it. I think the Sageo is a nice nice way to add uniqueness to a sword, and it's unfortunate that they haven't changed the marketing material to show the Sageo that currently comes with this model. So if we go ahead and move over to the blade, this is my favorite part of the sword. So the hamon is just gorgeous. The blade has a bohie, which a lot of Dragon King swords do not have a bohie. And it has a slightly deeper sori than most of their other swords, which I love that kind of deeper curvature there. All right. But you can see the hamon is just beautiful. The polish is excellent. You can see this hamon in any light. It does look slightly different when the light hits it differently. So you can see here that it doesn't always have that really prominent frosted look to the hamon. Looks slightly tarnished in certain light. But when you have the right lighting, it just looks incredible. The bohie itself has a really nice mirror polish to it, and the flats of the blade are excellent. If we can get this to focus, there we go. The Kasaki also had a little bit of marring on it when the sword arrived. See if we can get a look there. There we go. That is exactly how the sword arrived. So, and the Yokote is geometric, as you can see here. The terminations of the bohie are very nice as well. It has that nice kind of geometric termination there. That angled termination looks very nice. But that's basically all I have to say about this. I love this sword. I think it's just razor sharp. It's the sharpest sword that I own. The hamon just looks beautiful. The fittings are great. The Suka is just rock solid. Everything about this sword is 100% worth the price. So if you're thinking about it like I was and you were looking for a video that could kind of give you a detailed look of everything, especially the hamon in the proper light, maybe this will help you make the decision. Anyway, I purchased the sword from RVA Katana, and John over there, if you haven't heard of RVA, they're very active on social media. They do lives almost every day, and I would highly recommend purchasing from them. They had this sword priced above some other sellers online, so I reached out to John and asked if he could match the price, and he said yes, and they have fast shipping. So if you're looking for a sword and you see that RVA offers it, maybe reach out if they don't have the best price, and they'll, maybe they might be willing to bring their prices down a little bit to match it. But overall, I thought the buying experience from them was great. John called me, to tell me that the sword was currently out of stock and they were waiting for a shipment. And so very good communication. So anyway, that's all I got for you guys. I'm going to keep trying to work on making the quality of these videos a little bit better. Maybe train my dog a little bit better to not get in the video. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any ideas for the channel, feel free to leave them in the comments. And I hope this was helpful. Peace.